And good morning, everybody, and welcome to DMS 3000 News Live, episode number 13 on Friday, June 30th, 2023. And I am Brandon Martin, your host for this, and we'll wrap up the week with me in this one. As for on this program, we will be talking about the do's and don'ts of the workplace. That'll be at the 5:30 hour or 8:30 a.m. for Eastern. Then on the 6 o'clock hour, we'll have the 68th anniversary of the short-lived The Johnny Carson Show. And then at the 6:30, we'll wrap up with a special happy 67th birthday to David Alan Grier. And plus the headlines, sports, and what day is today. And we'll go ahead and get started for the headlines on June 30th, 2023 to wrap up the first half of 2023. And we all know tomorrow will be going into the second half of this year, 2023, and a brand new month. For the headlines, 25 years of experimentation under race-neutral admissions policies, and $500 million later, the University of California system says they still can't meet their diversity goals. The Supreme Court effectively ends affirmative action. The ruling on Biden's student debt forgiveness plan is expected today. The contract between actors and studios expires tonight. A new report from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention found U.S. deaths involving Exlazine, known on the street as Tranq, had already risen 35-fold by 2021. After a recent trip to some of the company's facilities in Guangzhou, China, young tastemakers fawn over happy employees and sweat-free working conditions. Now the influencers are facing a backlash. With the Supreme Court having ruled against affirmative action policies in higher education, some legal experts worry about the future of workplace diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. AAA is forecasting record high travel this weekend when more than 50 million Americans are expected to get out of town. That could mean clogged roads and snarls at airports. After Brian Wallach was diagnosed with ALS, he and his wife, Sandra Abrevia, threw themselves into advocating for patients. Everyone up to President Biden took notice. NPR speaks to the family of a Syrian refugee who died along with possibly hundreds of other people in a shipwreck off the Greek coast in June. From Ugly Dogs to SCOTUS decisions and Ryan Seacrest, it's been another news-filled week. How well were you paying attention? That'll be the NPR News quiz. We have Bob the Drag Queen knows the world of drag is getting politicized, but as he prepares his next moves on stage and screen, he makes no apologies for expressing his signature flair. Geraldo Rivera leaves Fox News. He was a war correspondent, a host, a Trump supporter, and in his later years, an unexpected voice of reason. But above all, he was a showman. Tensions grew across France over a deadly police shooting of a 17-year-old that has shocked the nation. More than 600 were arrested and at least 200 police officers were injured. The identification was made using photographic comparisons. Italian Carabinieri said in a press release, the statement did not provide the name of the suspect nor his whereabouts. A new CDC report finds that just a third of those diagnosed with hepatitis C have cleared the virus, a decade after a cure was made available. The Google fight with the country echoes a similar battle in Australia, where the tech industry eventually struck deals with news publishers after tense negotiations. Only a small portion of U.S. colleges have selective admissions, where race-conscious admissions can make a difference in who gets in. But the impacts of banning affirmative action are far wider. Scientists have detected these strange particles from outer space before, but this is the first time they've caught cosmic neutrinos from our own Milky Way. The ruling included two cases. The case concerning the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill was 6-3. Along ideological lines, in the Harvard case, the vote was 6-2, with Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson recusing. The decision reversed decades of precedent upheld over the years by narrow court majorities that include Republican appointed justices. And in Madison, Wisconsin, the air quality was measured at 242 Thursday morning, a very unhealthy purple alert rating that many other communities shared, particularly in the Midwest. The Supreme Court ruled the race-conscious admissions are unconstitutional in a pair of cases involving Harvard University and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Amtrak says the Coast Starlight train was carrying 198 passengers and 13 crew when it rammed into a public works truck on a raised gravel crossing. The truck's driver was taken to a trauma center. The court ruled in favor of an evangelical Christian postal service carrier who refused to work on Sundays for religious reasons. And that will be the headlines for June 30th, 2023. Now the MLB news. From first timers to 10th timers, All-Star Game's starting field is set. We all know the All-Star Game, for us baseball fans, we all know will be set July 11th. The Braves' Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Angels' Shohei Ohtani previously secured automatic starting bids by virtue of leading the NL and AL, respectively, in votes during Phase 1 of the ballot, and the rest of the elected starters for the 93rd Midsummer Classic at T-Mobile Park were announced last night on ESPN. 9 different clubs are represented among this year's elected starters, led by the Rangers, with 4. The Braves and the Dodgers are tied for the NL lead with 3 stars apiece. And the Rays and Angels also have multiple starters. 8 players won the fan vote for the first time in their careers, including a pair of rookies. The complete all-star rosters, including pitchers and reserve position players for both teams, will be announced at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, which is this coming Sunday. Pitchers and reserves totaling 23 players for each side, and will be determined via player ballot choices and selections made by the commissioner's office. The All-Star starters, and we have for the NL catchers, which is Sean Murphy from the Atlanta Braves. From the AL, from Texas Rangers, Jonah Heim. For first base of the NL, Freddie Freeman of the Los Angeles Dodgers. We also have from the American League, Yandy Diaz from the Tampa Bay Rays. For second base from the NL, from the Miami Heat. Why did I say Heat? I meant to say Marlins. Basketball season's over, Brad. It's all good. Here we go. Luis Arraez from the AL, from the Texas Rangers. Marcus Semien will be in there. Third base from the NL, St. Louis Cardinals, Nolan Arenado. And from the American League, from the Texas Rangers, Josh Jung will be in there. Shortstop from the Atlanta Braves, Orlando Arcia. And from the AL, Texas Rangers, Corey Seager. Designated hitter, we have from the NL, J.D. Martinez from the Los Angeles Dodgers. And we all know from the American League, Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Angels. For the outfield for the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr., as mentioned. We have from Braves, Mookie Betts from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Corbin Carroll of the Arizona Diamondbacks. The runners-up were Michael Harris II and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Harris from the Atlanta Braves and Gurriel from the Arizona Diamondbacks. AL outfield, Mike Trout will from the Los Angeles Angels. Randy Arozarena from the Tampa Bay Rays. Aaron Judge from the New York Yankees will be in there. The runners-up were Yordan Alvarez of the Houston Astros, Adolis Garcia of the Texas Rangers, and Kevin Kiermaier from the Toronto Blue Jays. Ohtani makes history, hails history with the 14th home run in June. What a show indeed. Shohei Ohtani continued his record-setting June when he crushed his major league leading 29th home run of the season in the ninth inning of the Angels' 97 loss to the White Sox on yesterday afternoon. The two-way superstar's 438-foot home run was his 14th in June, the most by a Halos player in a single month in franchise history. It broke the record of 13 previously held by one person, which is Ohtani, June of 2021, along with Albert Pujols, June of 2015, and Tim Salmon of June 1996. He wows you every day with all the records and everything coming our way, said by Angels manager Phil Nevin said. He's just such a talent. It's fun to watch. In Ohtani's spectacular June, he leads all MLB hitters with 14 home runs, 28 RBIs, and a 1.415 ops on the mound. He has a 3.26 ERA, 37 strikeouts across 30 in the third innings. Just 2 days after his dazzling 10 strikeout, 2-homer performance, Ohtani continued his torrid stretch with yesterday's home run. 7 reasons this has already been a season for the ages. We only reached the halfway point of the baseball season, but it already feels like so much more than that, as if we've crammed a whole season's worth of action and excitement into the first 81 games before we even reached the 4th of July because of everything that's happened. And because of the way of the rule changes have worked, it feels like this might be the best first half we've ever seen. The games have gotten faster. Infield shifts no longer dominate the conversation on broadcasts, and the stolen base has come out of hiding. It seems as if there is a big story almost every day. It's already happened this week. The night before Domingo Germán threw MLB's first perfect game since 2012. Shohei Ohtani hit 2 home runs for the Angels and struck out 10 batters. Here's just some things that have happened so far. Trust me, this is just a short list. Less than 2 weeks away from the All-Star game in Seattle. We all know Shohei Ohtani continues to make history. We all know he has a 7-3 record and has struck out 127 batters, in 95 in the third innings. We all know his wingman, Mike Trout, has 17 home runs on the years so far after dealing with injuries. And the second one, Ronald Acuna Jr., chasing 40-40. We know the Braves speedster has 19 home runs, 51 RBIs, and 331 batting average through 80 games. We all know he is the best player on what looks like the best team, at least so far. He has 36 stolen bases, 71 scored runs, and has an on-base percentage of .408. Meanwhile, Luis Reyes is chasing 400. Marlins second baseman still flirting big time with 400 at the halfway point of the season. He came out of the Marlins sweep in Boston on Thursday at 392. Wouldn't it be something if he hit enough between now and the All-Star game to be at 400 or better when he shows up in Seattle? Oh, and the Marlins are exceeding everyone's expectations, and they would be in the playoffs if the season started today. Elly De La Cruz is making us say, wow. De La Cruz, the number 2 prospect in baseball, is so talented and so much a streak of light that it's sometimes easy to forget that he's only played 20 games in the big leagues. But he is the hot kid on what has been such a hot Reds team, another surprise club, and a big one. De La Cruz has already hit for the cycle, and he's batting .301 with 3 homers and 11 RBIs. He is getting a lot of help in Cincinnati, a great baseball city coming back to life. Corbin Carroll is a rookie and an MVP candidate. The Diamondbacks are one more surprise team, and they're in first place in the National League West, a division that is every bit as interesting right now as the NL East. In his rookie year, Carroll has 17 homers with 44 RBIs and a batting average just south of 300. If not for Acuna, Carroll might be the front runner for the NL MVP award. The Rays and Orioles are setting up a great division race. These two are still 1-2 in the American League West coming into the season, who saw these two clubs locked in a hot divisional race. Only the Braves are on a roll similar to the Rays, who somehow continue to do all these Tampa Bay things with a modest payroll. But as we head into the holiday weekend, the Orioles are right there with them, just 5.5 games behind. The Rangers are the new team in Texas. If you have the Rangers being the best team in the Lone Star State coming into the season and 5 games ahead of the Astros at this point of the season, you're smarter than the rest of us. Not only are the Rangers, who can really mash playing this way with the great Bruce Bochy, they are doing it without Jacob deGrom, who is out for the season after Tommy John surgery. The Reds are back. The Marlins are back. The Angels are all in for Trout, who's only played 3 postseason games in his career. The Giants, who have won 107 games in 2021, are on their way back. And did I mention the games are faster along with what feels like the whole sport? A third strike is so impressive it buckled the pitcher. Okay, there we go. Come on, go down. Thank you. Yanni Chirinos didn't slip up as much as he pitched 6 strong relief innings and earned the win in the Rays 6-1 win over the Diamondbacks on yesterday afternoon at Chase Field. Chirinos offered a reminder that baseball is not only a game but a vehicle for other forms of entertainment while finishing off an inning strikeout against Alek Thomas in the 5th. Except when he literally slipped on the mound, that is. Chirinos, excuse me, didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. Was ahead in the count 1-2 and was looking to get a little bit extra on his next sinker. He fired one at 94 miles an hour, the hardest of his 84 pitches on the day, and Thomas took the inside pitch for a called third strike. But as the right-hander landed, his left foot gave out, sending him crashing to the mound. That always happens, said Chirinos, smiling through interpreter Manny Navarro. When you have got those 2 strikes and you want to go a little extra aggressive, that's the effectiveness that I wanted on that pitch. Chirinos said that wasn't the first time he's taken a trip like that. Fortunately, no pitchers were harmed in the process of this tumble. As Chirinos walked off the mound, he couldn't suppress a grin directed toward catcher Francisco Mejia. Suffice it to say, Chirinos was on the receiving end of some good-natured jokes from his teammates after his fall. They're everywhere, all laughing, but I was just not trying to get out of my focus level at that point, Chirinos said. They were laughing, but it's part of the game. It's something that's fun. Shortstop Wander Franco said through Navarro, and something we can laugh at. What a slide. Ramirez becomes the 8th player to swipe home in extras. And that was Jose Ramirez did the sliding. And we'll go ahead and go over the scores from yesterday's games. Shouldn't take that long, so. Okay, there we go. That was for yesterday. Here we go. Let's do it. The Pirates beat the Padres 5-4. The Tigers beating the Rangers 8-5. The Royals beating the Guardians in the final 10 innings 4-3. The Yankees beating the Athletics 10-4. The Rays beating the Diamondbacks 6-1. The White Sox beating the Angels 9-7. The Marlins beating the Red Sox 2-0. The Blue Jays beating the Giants 2-1. The Brewers beating the Mets 3-2. The Astros beating the Cardinals, whooped them 14-0. My goodness. We have the Phillies beating the Cubs 3-1. And we have the Los Angeles Dodgers beating the Rockies whooped them too, 14-3. And that will be the MLB news. As coming up, as we're at 5:25 right now, coming up, we will be doing the do's and don'ts of the workplace, and we'll have that for you right after this break. Don't go anywhere, guys.
The name Progresso means progress in Italian, but we don't put too much progress in our soup. Where we come from, you don't fool around with a classic soup recipe, which is why our minestrone is still a classic. We still think chicken noodle soup should be more chicken than noodle. That may not be progress, but it's delicious. It's not that Progresso is against progress. It's just that too much progress would spoil the Progresso.
Every 2 seconds, somebody bangs up a car. Making him look like new again keeps 185,000 auto body specialists on the job. At Apex Tech, we have a training program to get you ready for this kind of work in 6 months. The latest unibody frame straightening equipment. We show you how to operate it. Auto glass, welding. You learn by working alongside a professional. Precision grinding and finishing. Finally, painting and pinstriping. Not many jobs give you the satisfaction of seeing your finished product. Now tell me, is there any part of this you think you couldn't learn? Give us a call now, and we'll pick out a time, day or evening, for you to come in to our shops in person, talk about job placement and what kind of financial help from the government you may be entitled to towards your training, and look over the professional tools you get to keep when you finish your training. 924-7373. Give us a call. Our switchboard is open now.
Make your home the showplace of your neighborhood. At last, a beautiful house that's really maintenance-free. Garden State Brick Face is 3 layers of tough, steel-reinforced cement that will seal and insulate your home. Brick face, stucco, or stone face. Our skilled craftsmen will create a beautiful, customized, maintenance-free exterior on your home. Call now for a free estimate.
For a free estimate, call 1-800-228-6600. Call now, or look us up in the yellow pages under Brick.
It happens every day in the tri-state area, rain or shine. Our people get ready and open the doors. We're your neighbors, family, friends. Our kids go to school with your kids. We're not a national chain store. We're your hometown store. And it matters to us how you're treated, because we want you to come back, time after time and year after year. PC Richard & Son, family owned and operated for 104 years, and here for you, always.
Beat the heat! Beat the heat with a fan or air conditioner from Crazy Eddie. Get the guaranteed lowest sale prices anywhere on electric fans and air conditioners. It's going to be a long, hot summer, and the prices of electric fans and air conditioners are going to go up, up, up with the temperature. So get an electric fan or air conditioner on sale from Crazy Eddie now. Shop around, get the lowest sale prices you can find, then go to Crazy Eddie and he'll beat them. So be cool and beat the heat. See Crazy Eddie now. His prices are insane.
So then I said, Mr. Prime Minister, I'm flattered that you love chocolate, but I'm here strictly in a professional. What's wrong with him?
He thinks you're naked.
My shell is brown. It just looks like my milk chocolate is showing. Only a fool would think I'd actually show up naked.
So it's that kind of party. Hit it!
I'm sexy and I know it. Aye. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. I work out. Wiggle, 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 yeah.
Hey, Herbert Fisher. Have you met Herb Grant?
Herb Grant, Tacoma.
Herb's in the plumbing business.
Yeah, I'm all backed up.
Herb, you know these bums? Herb Riddick, Herb Kaplan.
Hi.
So, the wife and kids are good?
Herb Jr.'s almost 12.
Whoa, next thing you know, there'll be a Herbert Jr. Jr.
If it's out there, it's in here. The 9X Yellow Pages. Why would anyone need another?
We look into the do's and don'ts of the workplace. And for those who do work at the workplace, hopefully they can pay attention to what I'm saying to this right here and right now. With that, here are the do's for at the workplace. which is this. Excuse me. Do arrive early. You will be remembered for answering your phone at 8:01 a.m. in a world where tardiness is common. Do network with people outside of your cubicle. A perk of having a job at a company you appreciate is meeting other people with similar interests who share advice from their past experiences. Do be willing to engage a coworker who asks for your help. Use the opportunity to stand out and share the knowledge you learned as a Husky. Don't be annoyed by their questions. Do bring in goodies. Who doesn't love to eat? If you have free time one night, bake cookies or brownies and bring them to work. Everyone will love you. Do create a proper personal email address. Depending on your profession, you will most likely have to correspond with your coworkers after work and on weekends. Replace FoxyChick123 with a professional username, such as your first initial and last name. Do jump at the chance to complete a new task. Your coworkers likely gave it to you because they have confidence in your abilities, not because they have time to dish out busy work. Do be flexible. Sometimes a project calls for earlier or later hours. Be okay with adjusting your schedule accordingly. Do work on holidays. This might not be an issue for every profession, but if it is, you will be rewarded in the long run for missing the family barbecue on Memorial Day. Did you really want to see Uncle Henry anyway? Do keep an eye on your personal budget. Just because you have an income now doesn't mean you should make it rain all in one place. Invest in your future. Do make sure your earbuds are plugged in securely to your computer. Your coworkers don't want to hear lyrics streaming from your 2 Chainz Pandora station. Do be open-minded in both your work and in your communications. And finally, do always wear a smile. Having a positive attitude about being at work will affect your job performance significantly. And here are the don'ts at the workplace. This first one, don't reply all to an email chain. Understand the differences and repercussions between reply and reply all to avoid humiliation. Don't have a personal conversation at your desk. Find a conference room to discuss after work issues that you must have with your best friend, sister, significant other, or landlord, or anyone who isn't related to work actually. Don't bring your emotions into the office. Your desk neighbor doesn't want to hear your sob story from the weekend, so leave that at the door. Don't be afraid to ask questions, despite how silly you think they seem. This way, you will avoid erroneously completing an entire project only to realize you did it all wrong. Don't gossip about your coworkers or your boss. You're not hurting anyone but yourself when you do. Better yet, don't be so intolerable that people gossip about you. Do not insert emoticons or multiple exclamation points, if any, into work emails. Despite how relaxed your superiors might act, always be professional. Do not wear weekend attire to the office. Save the crop tops, flip-flops, and the see-through shirts. Ugh, I can't even talk for the weekend. No one will take you seriously if you don't. Don't apply for a job you don't want. It will be a waste of time for both parties. If you meet the employer for an interview and initially know you will decline the position, don't talk back to your boss. Oh, yes. There's a thing you don't want to do, folks. Even if there isn't much of an age difference between you two, hopefully you will have the chance to climb the career ladder someday. You will want people to respect you then, right? Don't forget that at work socials, you're still at work. Be careful not to overdo it if alcohol is being served. Everyone will know why you called in sick the next day. Don't be nervous, but also don't overstep your boundaries. You should express your opinions, but keep them G-rated. And finally, don't forget an umbrella. Sitting in wet clothes all day is not fun. Keeping a pair of shoes under your desk also proves helpful. And that is basically the do's and don'ts of the workplace. As we'll go ahead and take a look at the weather for this Friday, June 30th, 2023. And we'll go over from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast. All right, here we go. For the East Coast, you're looking at the upper 70s, mid to low, upper 80s, low to mid upper 90s. Looking at Caribou at 76, Boston at 78, Buffalo and New York both at 83, Washington, D.C. at 89, Norfolk at 86, Charlotte at 89, Atlanta at 92, Jacksonville 93, Tampa 98, Miami at 88, with some thunderstorm showers. Same, and however, will be showers along for Buffalo as well. Same with thunder showers for Charlotte. Midwest, looking at mid to mid 70s. Also looking at probably in the Midwest about upper 80s, low 90s, upper 90s as well to 100. Salt Marie at 75, Detroit 89, Cincinnati 90, Chicago 92, St. Louis 98, Memphis at 100 degrees. 99 in New Orleans, Louisiana. Minneapolis, 89. Low 80s at International Falls. Looking at basically upper 80s, mid to low 70s, upper 90s, some in the upper 60s, low hundreds. Minot, excuse me. I'm trying to make sure it's trying to see correctly, but 86 in Minot, 74 in Rapid City, Kansas City 99, Oklahoma City at 96, Dallas at 99, Houston at 98, Brownsville at 96, San Antonio at 98, Lubbock at 93, El Paso in the triple digits 102 today, Albuquerque at 94, Denver 69 with some showers, with some thunder showers along with Lubbock. West Coast, we have upper 70s, upper 60s, low 80s, low to upper 90s. Then mid to upper 100s. Look at Seattle at 77. Medford at 99. Boise at 92. Cut Bank 87. Billings 86. I mentioned Reno's at 91. Salt Lake City 88. San Francisco 67. Los Angeles at 82. Las Vegas 105 today. Phoenix at 109. And that's basically it for the weather for June 30th, 2023. And basically for next month, where sweltering heat will persist and who might get a break. And then again, the air quality, being really careful with that. For those who are in, for example, in this one, Phoenix, Las Vegas, El Paso, stay cool inside. And same with Memphis as well. Stay cool inside. Have the wonderful AC on, which you don't want to go out in that sweltering heat and all that, which it's not going to be good for you either way. Unless it's necessary. But suggestion, I wouldn't do that. Since we do have a little bit of time left before we hit the 6 o'clock hour, let's go ahead and check out the national holidays that is happening on June the 30th, 2023, to wrap up the national holidays. For this one, we have 13 holidays that is listed. We can check out this first one. International Asteroid Day. National Asteroid Day will have everyone looking towards the sky. National Safer Workplace Day. Stay alert, stay safe, prioritize machine safety, and prevent accidents in the workplace. Congo Independence Day. Buckle your seatbelts, fly with us to the Democratic Republic of Congo for Independence Day celebrations. Cream Tea Day. Share a pot of tea with jam and cream-coated scones with your loved ones today. Drive your Corvette to work today. To work day. Hit the brakes on all other celebrations while we appreciate a widely popular car. International Day of Parliamentarism. In a parliamentary democracy, citizens elect representatives and take their future into their own hands. National Corvette Day. Expand your knowledge about the Corvette and how it shaped the American car industry. National Food Truck Day. Grab a snack from your local food truck and support the entrepreneurs behind them. National Meteor Watch Day. What are meteors? Why are they important? Read on to find out. National OOTD Day. Have you chosen your outfit of the day? Oh, that means OOTD, which is outfit of the day. Okay. Just to be more clear, so for clarifying that, open up your closet and get started now. Philippine Spanish Friendship Day. Join us as we celebrate Filipino and Spanish friendship that endures to this day. Social Media Day. First, there was the telephone, then the fax machine, and then social media. And we'll wrap up with Vincy Mass in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. With costumes, parades, food, and lots of music, let's celebrate Vincy Mass in style. And let's go ahead and just go over a few of them right now. We all know it's International Asteroid Day. On June 30th, International Asteroid Day, we'll have everyone looking towards the sky. The holiday was founded after the 2014 release of the film 51 Degrees North, which explores what would happen if an asteroid were to strike London. The film's creative team, many of whom are scientists, wanted to raise more awareness about the threat of asteroids to Earth and how we can help protect ourselves. To make that happen, they formed a foundation, and in 2015, they celebrated the world's first International Asteroid Day. There are over 1 million asteroids in space that could potentially strike the Earth, but modern scientists have only discovered about 1% of them. To combat this, Asteroid Day's founders, as well as a host of accomplished scientists, created the 100x Asteroid Declaration. The declaration aims for scientists to work to increase the rate of asteroid discovery to 100,000 per year within a decade. International Asteroid Day focuses on spreading the word of the declaration and helping fellow Earthlings prepare for potential asteroid impact. The timeline for International Asteroid Day, March 22nd, 1989, 4581 Asclepius passes by. The asteroid Asclepius passes by Earth at a distance of almost 500,000 miles. March 31st, 1989, scientists discovered the asteroid. American astronomers Henry Holt and Norman Thomas discovered the Apsilus as passed by the Earth. 2014, 51 degrees north. Excuse me. The science fiction movie broad centering on near-Earth objects is released. 2015, first observance. International Asteroid Day is celebrated for the first time. International Asteroid Activities. Organize an event in your community. Watch 51 degrees north. Volunteer for Asteroid Days organizers. Why we love International Asteroid Day? It raises awareness. It encourages space exploration. It brings people together over a common cause. And we'll go ahead and look at the next one. For National Safer Workplace Day. Since it is fitting that we did talk about the do's and don'ts at the workplace, National Safer Workplace Day occurs on the last Friday of June, commemorating the Safer Workplace Initiative, which promotes workplace safety with a heightened focus on machine safety to reduce the potential of near misses, accidents, and injuries. Technicum, the product neutral engineering services of division of the Schmersal Group founded National Safer Workplace Day to create awareness about safer workplaces and promote safer workplace activities. Machine safeguarding consistently remains among the top 10 OSHA violations yearly. Our goal is to provide machine manufacturers and end users with the proper tools to help create a safer workplace. Let's support this event by learning about the importance of a safe workplace. Take out time to assess your workspace and pinpoint any task, process, or equipment that could jeopardize your workplace and your safety. History of National Safer Workplace Day. The SAFER acronym is based on the 5 fundamental steps used to conduct a risk assessment and stands for stop, access, formulate, execute, and review. These steps are fundamental to properly addressing any concerns such as unsafe operations of machinery so that a safe and efficient solution can be created and implemented. A stop in production often has a negative connotation. However, in this context, it is meant to prevent future production stops due to accidents and injuries. It is important to stop and discuss safety concerns to foster a work environment where employees feel confident enough to speak up against unsafe conditions. This also helps to avoid potential near misses and accidents. Assess. Identifying an unsafe condition is the first step. The next step is to assess the safety concerns to decide which steps, if any, need to be taken to minimize exposure to the hazard. One method is to estimate the severity of the concern is by calculating hazard rating number. And we'll go ahead and take a commercial break, and we'll go with the short-lived run of the Johnny Carson show. And we'll go ahead and take another break, as right now, 5:55 now. and we'll go there right after the break. Don't you dare go anywhere. We'll be right back.
At the river mouth, the bears catch only the tastiest, most tender salmon, which is exactly what we at John West want. John West endured the worst to bring you the best.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell like. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
Ship my pants? Right here? Ship my pants? You're kidding. You can ship your pants right here. You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just shipped my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed. If you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the Information Purification Directives. We have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests of vain contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Mr. Cow.
Yes?
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I don't know. I always end up biting. Ask Mr. Fox, for he's much cleverer than I.
Mr. Fox, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Why don't you ask Mr. Turtle, for he's been around a lot longer than I. Me? I bite.
Mr. Turtle, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I never made it without biting. Ask Mr. Owl, for he is the wisest of us all.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
A good question. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3.
If there's anything I can't stand, it's a smart owl.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Please, jiggle now.
Mr. Green? Mr. Green?
Yeah.
You need any help?
Mm-mm.
I just want you to know, I think you're the best ever.
Yeah, sure.
Want my Coke? It's okay, you can have it.
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay.
A Coke and a smile makes me feel good. Makes me feel nice.
Be around.
That's the way it should be. I like to see
Hey, kid.
the whole world smiling with me. Coca-Cola as life. Have a Coke and
Thanks, Mean Joe.
smile.
So you think Santa will like these red and green M&Ms?
I don't know. I never met the guy. He does exist.
They do exist. Santa?
And we welcome you back to DMS 3000 News Live, episode 13 for Friday, June 30th, 2023. Once again, I am Brandon Martin, your host, as we're at over the 6 o'clock into this second half of the show. We'll go ahead and go with the 68th anniversary of the Johnny Carson Show, where it was a short-lived show where I'll go ahead and read this off right here and right now. For Carson's incarnation of The Tonight Show, see Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, which became a little bit later on from there. Excuse me. The Johnny Carson Show was a 1955-56 half-hour primetime television variety show starring Johnny Carson. While working as a staff writer on The Red Skelton Show, local Los Angeles television comedian Carson filled in as host when Skelton was injured during a show rehearsal. As a result of Carson's performance, CBS created the primetime variety program, The Johnny Carson Show, a traditional potpourri of comedy, music, dance, skits, and monologues. Jack Prince was the male vocalist on the series. It aired on Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, which is over there at 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific. As already mentioned about this, the short-lived 1955-56 series served as a precursor of what came later for Carson, planting the seeds for sketches he performed on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, such as Mighty Carson Art Players. However, the show flopped in the ratings and was quickly canceled. The show was produced in Los Angeles at the Vine Street Theater. The show was alternatively sponsored by Revlon and General Foods, such as Jell-O, Instant Sanka, and Bennett Rice. In a 1978 profile of Carson in The New Yorker, Kenneth Tynan described the Johnny Carson Show as, quote-unquote, a half-hour program that goes through 7 directors, 8 writers, and 39 weeks of worsening health before expiring. In the spring of 1956, Carson wound up hosting a daytime game show called Who Do You Trust? That took place from 1957 to 1962 until he was tapped by NBC to replace the departing Jack Paar as host of The Tonight Show in 1962, a position Carson held for 30 years. Kinescopes of 10 episodes from the series were discovered in a closet by Carson's second wife, Joanne, and released by Shout Factory on DVD in 2007. Joanne Carson says the kinescopes were handpicked by Carson as a courtship gift to her. It featured his favorite episodes from the series. Additional episodes survive at the UCLA Film and Television Archive. Following the cancellation of the series, CBS assigned Carson to host another series, this time airing in a daytime time slot. The series was also titled The Johnny Carson Show and began in May 1956, but ran only through the summer. A single episode of this version is included on Shout Factory's DVD release of the 1955-56 series. Yeah. That was basically a short-lived series of the Johnny Carson Show. Became, as mentioned later on, down the line of 1962, hosted The Tonight Show to replace the Jack Paar. Theme music composer Jerome Kern for music and Dorothy Fields for lyrics. Opening theme Pick Yourself Up. It only aired one season, 39 episodes. Production producer Ben Brady. We mentioned production Vine Street Theater of Hollywood, California. Running time of a half hour. Original release from June 30th, 1955 to March 29th, 1956. And yeah, that's basically the short-lived series of the Johnny Carson Show. And again, since we got some time, we'll go ahead and continue from there as we left off for history of the National Safer Workplace Day. An effective HRN calculation during the risk assessment process will allow you to quantify a problem and take a closer look at the machine or process to ensure proper regulations and requirements are being followed. Formulate. Once an assessment is completed and a concern has been reviewed by a qualified team, the next step is to formulate a plan. If actions need to be taken, this is the time to develop safe and feasible possible solutions. Team effort may be required to create a solution that is not only safe, but allows for effective and efficient human-machine interactions. Solutions can range from administration controls to machine redesigns and implementation of safety controls. Execute. After a plan is created, it is time to execute it to see how effective it is. This may require planning across multiple departments and divisions, as a realistic schedule must be made to accommodate machine downtime and available resources to actually implement the proposed safety plan. It's important to establish design reviews and milestones to help track and measure the success of process. Review. Once the solution is successfully implemented, the concern must be reviewed again. This additional evaluation is used to prove the system is out, confirm that the initial concern has been addressed effectively, and that the new solution is not creating further hazards. Look at the timeline of National Safer Workplace Day. Birth of the American Factory, 1790. America's first factory was built in Rhode Island, allowing workers to use machines to dramatically increase productivity and consistency. Excuse me. 1877, start of the safety mindset. Massachusetts passed the first factory safety and health law in America, which led to a general inspection of factories and provisions relating to dangerous mechanical equipment. 1968, creation of the programmable logic. The concept of the programmable logic controller was created, paving the way to today's safety PLCs used to monitor entire safety systems. 1970s, safety becomes a federal law. The U.S. passes the Occupational Health and Safety Act and creates the Occupational Health and Safety Administration to pass, regulate, and maintain health and safety standards and regulations. How to celebrate National Safer Workplace Day. Acknowledge a coworker or employee for following safe practices. Also make a safety tips list. And share your story. The 5 facts about safer workplaces. workplace injuries occur every 7 seconds. Feeling safe is extremely important, says 73% of workers. A workplace safety program reduces injuries by 50%. About half of serious injuries unreported. And compare businesses, injuries / illness rates. Why we love National Safer Workplace Day. It offers a much needed reminder. It highlights the advancements in safety. And finally, it provides a safer workplace. Let's talk a little bit more about Congo Independence Day, since we got some time left before we go into this final things to talk about on the show. Congo Independence Day is celebrated on June 30th every year. The day marks the country's historic independence from the Belgian colonial powers, which happened on June 30th, 1960. Belgian interference with Congo began in 1885 when King Leopold II established his own Congo Free State and started to rule. His reign brought brutal oppression and forced labor to the people of Congo, which thankfully ended after violent independence struggles. In 1960, Belgium finally released its hold on the nation. Look at the history of Congo Independence Day. Democratic Republic of the Congo is a country in Central Africa, bordered by Zambia in southeast, Angola to the southwest, Central African Republic and South Sudan to the north, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and Tanzania to the east, and finally the Atlantic Ocean and Angolan exclave of Cabinda and Congo to the west. The history of DR Congo can be traced back to the 14th century Congo Empire, a highly developed and structured state which ruled over the southwestern part of present-day Congo. Part of the Republic of Congo and Angola, the Cuba Federation, with similar levels of development, also emerges in what is now known as Southern Congo. 500 years after its rise, the Congo Empire's fall as a result of internal slavery and robbery during the 1800s, enter the Belgians in the person of Henry Morton Stanley, who began exploring what is now known as DR Congo. Some 15 years later, in 1885, King Leopold II of Belgium arrived, founded, and began to rule the Congo Free State. However, the Free State imposed forced labor and harsh working conditions on the Congolese people, led to the death of 10 million people as a result of Leopold's harsh regime. In 1941, the first labor strikes occurred but were brutally repressed. Unfortunately, the Belgian government went ahead to impose 120 days of compulsory labor on all workers a year later. Finally, in 1960, after a series of uprisings by the people, Congo gained its independence from Belgium. The Congo Independence Day timeline, we know 1885, the Congo Free State is formed. Belgian King Leopold II establishes the Congo Free State. 1960, country gains its independence. Congo gains independence from Belgium. The country is renamed. Late President Mobutu Sese Seko renames the country Zaire in 1971. 1997, the country is renamed again. Zaire is changed to Democratic Republic of Congo by then head of state Laurent Desire Kabila. How to observe Congo Independence Day. Learn more about the DR Congo. Post a picture of Congo's flag. Wish Congolese people a happy Independence Day. 5 interesting facts about DR Congo. It is a large country. It has one of the largest cities. That will be DR Congo's capital, Kinshasa. It's a large city of Central Africa. It has Africa's oldest park, which is the Virunga National Park, the UN largest peacekeeping mission, with over basically largest peacekeeping mission is in DR Congo with over 21,000 soldiers. It has the deepest river, which is, we all know, that's the Congo River, is about 721.7 feet deep, making it the deepest river in the world, and it's also the second largest river globally. Why Congo Independence Day is important? It celebrates a country's independence. It brought freedom from tyranny and oppression, and also finally opened the way for democracy. A little bit of standby, guys. There we go. Okay. Let's learn more about Cream Tea Day. National Cream Tea Day is celebrated on the last Friday of June and takes place on June 30th this year. The founders of National Cream Tea Day are Radha's Clotted Cream and Tiptree. Afternoon cream tea is a British tradition that began in the 19th century and took place daily. Today, National Cream Tea Day encourages people to come together, enjoy a cream tea, and raise money for worthy causes. We look at the history of Cream Tea Day. The pleasure of sipping on a cup of tea can be traced back to the 1600s. Under the rule of King Charles II. When tea was first introduced to Britain, however, years later, the practice of snacking on pastries or sandwiches between lunch and dinner was created by the Duchess of Bedford. She would order tea and snacks to her room when she felt peckish during the afternoon. Around the middle of the 19th century, tea gained in popularity. And tea in the afternoon became a tradition amongst the British population. Sandwiches, cakes, scones, cream, and jam. The first hint of cream teas, as we know them today, were served alongside a cup of tea. Now, cream tea not only forms a part of daily tradition, but also a part of social occasions and lawn parties. It often accompanies a small snack to serve one's own family or even guests. Tiptree and Radha's Clotted Cream make up the Cream Tea Society, which is a community for those who love all things cream tea. Historically, Rada and Tiptree donate up to 50,000 portions of Cornish clotted cream and jam a year to help charity event organizers on their way. Last year, the Society supported 57 charity events on National Cream Tea Day. They'd likely to encourage people to raise money for their own favorite charities. Cream Tea Day timeline. 11th century, Tavistock Abbey. The first evidence of eating bread with cream and jam is found at Tavistock Abbey in Devon. 1662, the first cup. King Charles II wife, Catherine de Braganza, introduces tea drinking to the British court. 1840, the afternoon snack. The Duchess of Bedford keeps hunger at bay between meals by ordering tea with bread and butter, and this soon becomes a social affair. 19th century tradition. Cream tea becomes a daily occurrence in homes across Britain. And in 1850, travel. The opening of the railway boosts tourism in the West Country, and travelers still require their afternoon cream teas. Excuse me. Cream Tea Day activities. Hosted social cream tea. Donate to a charity. And spread the word. The 5 tantalizing facts about cream tea. The type of cream matters. Clotted cream is preferred over whipped cream. It is made by heating raw, full cream cow's milk in a steam bath. Not in the United States. Due to the pasteurization and homogenization requirements that change the fat structure of the milk, real clotted cream is not available in the U.S. 2 ways to have a cream tea. There are 2 ways of having the scone. Either apply the jam or the cream first and then add the other. You should use your hands. According to cream tea etiquette, the correct way to open your scone is by prizing it apart with your hands. There is a technique for brewing tea. The tea should be poured in first, followed by milk and sugar. Why we love Cream Tea Day? It is for a good cause. We love baked goods. It's an excuse to be social. And basically that is it for Cream Tea Day. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and take one more commercial break. Right now it is 6:24 right now, 6 minutes before 6:30. Coming up next, we'll wrap up the week, going into the weekend with a happy 67th birthday to David Alan Grier. And we'll get to do that right after this. Don't go anywhere, guys. And we welcome you back to the DMS 3000 News Live, episode 13, on Friday, June 30th, 2023, 2 minutes before 6:30. And once again, I'm Brandon Martin, and we'll wrap up the week with a special happy 67th birthday to David Alan Grier. David Alan Grier is an American actor and comedian. He began his career by portraying Jackie Robinson in the 1981 Broadway production The First, for which he earned a nomination at the 36 Tony Awards for Best Featured Actor in a Musical. In 1982, he played James Thunder Early in the Broadway musical Dreamgirls. He then appeared in the Robert Altman film Streamers 1983 as Roger, a role for which he won the Volpe Cup for Best Actor at the Venice Film Festival. That same year, he starred in the stage production of A Soldier's Play 1983, and later starred in the film adaptations titled A Soldier's Story 1984. Grier portrayed multiple characters on the American sketch comedy television series In Living Color from 1990 to 1994. In 1992, he starred alongside Eddie Murphy in the romantic comedy Boomerang. From 1993 to 1997, he played the role of Reverend Leon Lonnie Love on the Fox comedy series Martin. For his performances in the Broadway productions Race and Porgy and Bess 2012, he received Tony Award nominations, with the latter also earning him a Grammy Award for Best Musical Theater Album nomination. In 2021, he won the Tony Award for Best Featured Actor in a Play for his role as Sergeant Vernon C. Waters in a stage revival of A Soldier's Play in 2020. His other works include starring as Bernard on Damon in 1998, as David Bellows on Life of Bonnie 2002-2004, as Joe Carmichael on The Carmichael Show 2015-2017, a principal cast member in The Wiz Live 2015, as Hal on A Series of Unfortunate Events 2018, Carl Bentley in Jumanji in 1995, and Jim Fields in Bewitched 2005. He also created and executive produced the American satirical show Chocolate News 2008 for Comedy Central. Grier was born in Detroit, Michigan, one of 3 children, to Aretas Roof, a school teacher, and William Henry Grier, a psychiatrist and writer who co-wrote the book Black Rage. He graduated from Detroit's Cass Technical High School and received a BA in radio, television, film from the University of Michigan and an MFA from the Yale School of Drama in 1981. Visiting lecturer Rachel Roberts took notice of his performance one evening in a piece entitled The Playing of the Spirit Dance. After graduating from Yale, Grier landed the role of Jackie Robinson in the short-lived Broadway musical The First, directed by Martin Chemin and written by Joe Siegel. Grier was nominated for a Tony Award for Best Featured Actor in the Musical and won the Theatre World Award for The First. He got his start on National Public Radio drama adaptation of Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back in 1981. He was the voice of the nameless wing fighter pilot during the Battle of Yavin. Grier later starred as James Thunder early in the hit Broadway musical Dreamgirls. Greer made his film debut in 1983 in Streamers, directed by Robert Altman. He won the Golden Lion for Best Actor at the Venice Film Festival for the film. He appeared in the Negro Ensemble Company production, A Soldier's Play, and reprised his role in the film version, A Soldier's Story. Greer appeared as a geological can't even say that, but that's okay, professor at Hillman College in the show A Different World. In Living Color, although primarily known for his dramatic work, Greer began to shift towards comedy, making appearances in the cult films Amazon, Women on the Moon, and I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, whose director Keenan Ivory Wayans cast Greer in his new variety show In Living Color. It became a ratings hit and won an Emmy for Outstanding Variety Series. Greer became a popular cast member through his characters, which range from hyperactive children to crotchety old men. Some of his more well-known characters were flamboyant and effeminate Antoine Merriweather in the Men on sketch series Blues Musician Calhoun Tubbs, based on Shaky Jake, a busker who often performed near the Michigan campus, megaphone blaring shop teacher Al McAfee, the elderly Mr. Brooks, and Tiny, a prison inmate obsessed with female breastises. He also provided impersonations of Joe Jackson and Ike Turner. Acting career. After his success on In Living Color, Greer began appearing in film comedies such as Boomerang as Eddie Murphy's shy friend Gerard in 1992, Blankman with Damon Wayans in 1994, In the Army Now as Fred Ostroff with Pauly Shore and Andy Dick, also in 1994, and as Carl Bentley, a factory employee who turned police officer whose car is crushed and eaten by a giant pod in Jumanji in 1995. He played Reverend Leon Lonnie Love on the TV series Martin. Greer appeared with Tom Arnold in the 1997 comedy McHale's Navy as Ensign Charles Parker. In 1999, he made a guest appearance as himself in the Here It Goes to Hollywood episode of Nickelodeon sitcom Kenan and Kel. After the cancellation of In Living Color, Greer starred in the short-lived sitcoms The Preston Episodes, Damon, and Dag. He had a cameo in the Robert De Niro and Edward Burns film 15 Minutes in 2001 as a Central Park mugger. In the departure from the comedic roles he played on In Living Color, he portrayed an abuser father in Rusty Cundiff's anthology film Tales from the Hood. In 2002, Greer joined the cast of the improv-based ABC sitcom and Bonnie Hunt vehicle Life with Bonnie, which ran for 2 seasons. During this time, he continued to appear in comedy films, but also returned to drama in the films Badasses, 2003, and The Woodsman, 2004. He started his own Comedy Central stand-up special, The Book of David, the cult figures manifesto. He is also a frequent guest on the Comedy Central show Crank Yankers. Greer was the host of NBC show Thank God You're Here. He starred in Gym Teacher, the movie, in 2008, playing the villain Shelley Bragg. He appeared as Uncle Henry in the ABC 2005 television film, The Muppets Wizard of Oz. Greer guest starred in season 6 of Fox Bones. He played Professor Bunsen Jude, the science dude, the host of a children's TV program. This character was inspired by Bill Nye the Science Guy. In May 2013, Greer appeared in Tyler Perry Presents Pee-Pies. Why did I say that? Come on, Brandon, you're better than that. Playing the role of Virgil Pee-Pies, alongside Kerry Washington and Craig Robinson. Also in 2013, Greer appeared in The Watsons Go to Birmingham, a Hallmark Channel adaptation of Christopher Paul Curtis' 1995 Newbery Honor-winning novel, The Watsons Go to Birmingham, 1963. He appeared on the CBS TV adaptation of Bad Teacher, playing the role of Principal Carl Gaines. He played the Cowardly Lion in NBC's live performance of The Wiz, which aired on December 3rd, 2015. In 1998, Greer co-starred with Jon Stewart in Emma-Palooza. As director of John's production crew, who he often chastises as at Elmo and Telly after realizing what happened to the rest of the cast. In 2008, Greer starred in the Comedy Central series Chocolate News, which had satirical sketches about current events and news stories. It lasted for one season of 10 episodes. Greer appeared as Jimmy Dale in the series Queen Sugar, appearing in season 3, and played a role of Mr. Packard in the Paramount Pictures film Clifford the Big Red Dog. In April 2022, it was announced that Greer would join the cast of the upcoming musical remake, The Color Purple. There we go. He is set to play Pastor Avery, the father of Shug Avery, a role also featured in the 1985 film of the same name. In 2022, he starred in The Patient on Hulu with Steve Carell. Greer is a comedian and hosted the Comedy Central series, as mentioned, with Premium Blend in 2001. He was ranked number 94 on Comedy Central's 100 Greatest Stand-Ups. He made excuse me. He made an appearance on the Dave, Shelley, and Chainsaw show, San Diego Jack 100.7 FM on October 5th, 2012, before doing performances at the Madhouse Comedy Club. In an interview, he debunked internet reports that he was involved in a musical based on the life of Louis Farrakhan. Greer returned to Broadway to perform in the musical A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum in 1997. He returned to Broadway for the premiere of Race, written and directed by David Mamet, opposite James Spader, Kerry Washington, and Richard Thomas, which opened at the Ethel Barrymore Theater on December 6, 2009. Greer received his second Tony Award nomination for his role. He also appeared in the revival production of The Wiz at the La Jolla Playhouse, directed by Des McAnuff. Greer appeared on Broadway as Sporting Life in the Gershwins' Porgy and Bess, which opened at the Richard Rodgers Theater on January 12, 2012, alongside Norm Lewis and Andra McDonald. He was nominated for the Tony Award for Best Performance by a Featured Actor in the Musical for this role. In addition to his Tony Award nomination, Greer received a 2013 Grammy nomination for the Best Musical Theater Album for his performance on the cast recording of the play. In January 2020, Greer returned to the stage for the Broadway production, A Soldier's Play, this time playing Tech Sergeant Vernon C. Waters. The role originated by Adolph Caesar in an off-Broadway production. For this role, he won the Tony Award for Best Featured Actor in a Play. For other work, in 1998, David hosted the game show Random Acts of Comedy on Fox Family, which is now Freeform. The show lasted one season. He was a contestant on the 8th season of Dancing with the Stars, partnered with Kim Johnson. By the 4th week of competition, Greer announced that he had lost 26 pounds. He was eliminated in the 5th week. His first book, Barack Like Me, The Chocolate-Covered Truth, was published by Simon & Schuster in 2009. The book recounts Greer's own life story and was written by Alan Eisenstock. He appeared in an episode of Clean House along with his brother and his brother's family. Greer divided the show to help his brother due to severe problems with clutter, and the family received a home makeover. He hosted the game show Snap Decision, which debuted August 7th, 2017 on the Game Show Network and many Sinclair TV stations. Greer was married to Maritza Rivera and divorced in 1997. In July 2007, he married Christine Y. Kim, an associate curator of the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. She gave birth to their daughter, Louisa Donby Greer Kim, on January 10th, 2008, at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. On July 9th, 2009, Kim filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. When Greer was young, his family marched with Martin Luther King Jr. in a march of poverty in Detroit, where King gave an early version of the I Have a Dream speech. He is a fan of motorcycles and owns the rare Yamaha YZF R1 Limited Edition. On the August 10th, 2009 episode of Loveline, Greer agreed to auction it to the aid of Brian Bishop's Tumor Fund, but walked off set while Corolla and the audio engineer Pickard on air. He is an avid cook and began food blogging during the run of the play Race, where James Spader helped to critique the food Greer made. Yep, there's a lot of things he did over the years. And that's basically the life and his career for David Alan Greer. Again, happy birthday to you on your 67th birthday. And that is going to do it for DMS 3000 News Live, episode 13 for Friday, June 30th, 2023. And coming up next, in about 14 minutes, we'll turn that over to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. And along with Snowman and many more programs that are coming up for the David 3000 Network. And again, if you have anything like topic-wise that you want to talk about, basically that you want to give us the news, like some main topics that wants to be talked about on the show, please send us a DM, like myself or Jason, and we will read it off and have it on the show. But with that being said, From all of us here on the David 3000 Network, I'm Brandon Martin. But even though you'll get to see me again this coming Wednesday, but however, you'll get to see Jason Taqueno this coming Monday and Tuesday to start off the week of DMS 3000 News Live. And with that being said, have a great weekend, everybody, and you'll see Jason Taqueno on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody, and goodbye for now.
Don't forget to subscribe to the David 3000 Network for great more content like this one.